Hi, my name is Dan Spencer. This is Svetlana Spencer. We are the owners of Smiling Jack Beef Jerky. We got started back in 2002. I was given a beef jerky kit as a gift from an aunt, and I started making my own beef jerky, and I thought it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of artificial ingredients in these prepackaged pouches that they would give you in these beef jerky kits, and I didn't like that. I didn't like the expense, so I started tinkering to make my own recipes, and I ended up with the flavor that we now use as original hickory. I made jalapeno based off of that, the jalapeno flavor, and then when I married Svetlana, she was interested in the product and thought it was decent, and she ended up making the teriyaki flavor, which was a flavor I really couldn't crack properly.
When we married, we started traveling lots, and even before, and our friends, when we were bringing them as gifts as jerky, they said, why don't you make it a business, because it's a really cool product. And when we had our daughter, and I was a little bit bored here in the USA after moving from Moscow and Russia, well, we gave it a try, and we started our business in 2017 to start as a little trial, and then we understood it can really bring us somewhere. The main idea was to introduce our clean flavors, because as Danny said, we don't use any preservatives, we don't use chemicals, and it's completely handmade product. We use high quality beef, and we use the spices, nothing else. And then the process of when we dehydrate the meat, and we do pack it, and we offer it to our customers. So it's been nearly 4 years since we are doing it.
Smiling Jack, I came up with that. I don't know, it just popped into my head. It was just one of the things. I thought it was positive sounding, and at the time I did have a dog. He only had one eye, and he was named One-Eyed Jack, and for some reason just a combination of Smiling Jack came into my head, and that's where it stuck.
Yes, but he also came with a logo. So he created our logo, and it's a wolf, because usually during events some people ask, oh, it's a dog, is it a dog food? No, guys, it's a wolf. Smiling Jack is a wolf.
Yeah, we often get asked if it's dog treats, and I always say that I would rather it's a human treat that you give to your dog than a dog treat that you can eat too.
We found a butcher in this area, and we asked our requirements to the meat, because we use ground beef and 90% lean ground beef. So he made it to our standards. Sometimes we use Dickinson farm meat. We try to respect the animal. As Dan usually likes to say, when the animal had only one bad day, and we use the whole amount of beef which we got. We don't have anything which is spoiled or thrown away, and we can say it's like farm to table in a way.
We've done anywhere between 1 pound of beef all the way up to 80 pounds of beef at a time.
But our machine now can make 15 pounds of beef, but it's usually about 40% of jerky.
We have to pick up the beef, prep it by adding the seasonings and mixing it, and then once we extrude it through a jerky gun, we extrude it into thin strips, and then it goes into the dehydrator gun. It's essentially like a caulk gun, and we assemble this gun like so, and then the beef is loaded into this end of the gun and seal it up. And there's a die on the end here that extrudes the beef into a thin strip so it'll dry evenly. We extrude it out each strip and fill several trays in a dehydrator. But depending on what time we hit that production of dehydration, we could be up around the clock to check it. So there's times where we're up at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, checking to make sure that it's not
Too dry on one side or rotating.
Or undercooked. One batch will take
About 8 hours.
8 hours from start to finish. That's an hour of production and then a good 5-6 hours of dehydration.
And then
roughly.
packing, then you need to wait, then you need to pack and even to put the label, to stamp the date, so it's all takes a little bit of time.
It's all manually done.
Yeah.
Well, originally, like I said, was gifted a beef jerky kit, and it had these prepackaged spices. It would be like the equivalent of getting ramen noodles with the packet, full of who knows what in there. I liked the process, I liked the product, but I didn't want to go through finding packets with all these chemicals in them, so I decided to start mixing and matching my own. And at the time I worked with about 80 engineers, so I would bring in my batches of jerky and I would just give them away, and when people stopped complaining that it wasn't tasting good or it was too spicy or whatever, that's where I stopped the recipe. People wanted more spice, some more than others, and I really wanted to add something natural, so I added real jalapeno peppers. So they're diced up, they're mixed in with the beef, and that's another unique portion of our product is that these are integral into the product, and it's not just a marinade on the surface, it's not just a powder that I add, it's real jalapeno, and you get the flavor and the spiciness.
That we don't let meat marinate, it doesn't base for 2-3 days. That's why we can use only premium quality beef and dry spices, but we're also able to add some I can't say just natural, everything is natural, but fresh ingredients which can be added into our beef and make some unique flavor. Like Fiesta Taco, we do add tomatoes there, so and you can feel it. Or when I make teriyaki sauce, I use fresh ginger and fresh garlic, not the dry spices. So, and it's also makes a little bit unique flavor. But if you ask, for example, us what are best sellers, every flavor has its customers.
I love jalapeno. I never get sick of it. If I'm on a road trip or something and I take the jalapeno, it's just addicting once you get started. The heat increases, and it's just, I don't know. To me, it's the perfect beef jerky.
Yes, for me probably pit beef, but we are lucky because we can just take it directly from the machine when it's still hot, and we sometimes say, we just wish our customers can taste it like this. It's freshest and nicest point, because it's really beautiful. At the beginning of this journey, we tried so many different types of jerky which is available in the market, from the cheapest to the most expensive one, and some people ask us, why don't you use just, for example, organic meat? We would love to, but unfortunately then the price of this package will be too big. So we found the balance between this local beef and spices, so it's still clean. We don't use sugar in 4 of our types of jerky, only teriyaki has. Now, because we don't add any preservatives, we pack the jerky into those bags, and it has a little oxygen absorber which gives 3 months of freshness to the beef.
One thing about the freshness of it, and it's a little bit cheeky, but we by the time our butcher gets the meat and processes it and gets it to us and we process it, we kind of say it goes from moo to you in about 3 days. So it's never frozen, or there's no stopping point in the production. It's as fresh as it can be by the time it's vacuum packed to go to you. And we take every precaution and length that we can to make it to be the most fresh product that you can get. It's a natural product, so you know every batch is different, and we look at every stick that comes through our production to make sure that it's going to be the best that it can be. And we believe in that so much that we guarantee it that if you're not satisfied with it, that we'll refund your money easily, because we believe in what we do, and we've been doing it long enough that we want everybody to have a good experience with it.
Now customers know that we added 2 more products to our portfolio. So one is our crisp sauce, and it's also, I want to say that there is no preservatives, again only salt and spices, and it's made from dehydrated vegetables and good quality olive oil, so there are no any chemicals, and because oil is a preservative here, natural preservative, and a little bit of salt, it's not salty at all, so it can last up to 1 year, but usually it lasts about maybe a month. Yes, and unfortunately I have only one which we eat ourselves now. It's called fire sauce, habanero, and it's a really spicy sauce with a little bit of acid in it, but it has such a nice heat which stops right where it needs to stop to give you additional color and deliciousness to your food. You can use it on anything. We were at the Farmers on the Square. This season we are usually guest vendors. We don't go there on a regular basis, but because now we cooperate with Dickinson College Farm, and you will have hickory and jalapeno beef jerky. Probably there is no need for us also to be there because it will be presented. We are at Adams Ricky Farmers Market, it's a local one. Then last year we were participating into lots of events. We have a website where you can order also all of our products.